Hello, good day and welcome. I will be answering WASSCE 2020 Physics Past Question, question 19. A moving coil galvanometer which gives a full-scale deflection with 0.005 amperes is converted to a voltmeter reading up to 5 volts using an external resistance of 975 ohms. What is the resistance of the meter, that is the resistance of the galvanometer? A 0.25 ohms, B 2.5 ohms, C 25 ohms, and D 250 ohms. So we're asked to find the resistance of the galvanometer. Now, this is a conversion of the galvanometer to a voltmeter, and like we know, a galvanometer is an instrument that is used to measure very small currents. Now, it is given that the current that is being measured with full scale deflection I is equals to 0.005 watts amperes. Now, this galvanometer is converted to a voltmeter reading up to 5 volts. That means the total voltage V is equals to what? 5 volts using an external resistance of 975 ohms. Now, in the conversion of a galvanometer to a voltmeter, a multiplier, which is an external resistance, is actually what applied, and that resistance is known as what? R2, and this is R2 is equals to 975 ohms. Now, the initial resistance, or the internal resistance of the galvanometer, is known as R1, which is what we are asked to look for. Now, each of these resistance has its own voltage, which sum up to give us this total voltage V. So therefore, we have V1 and we also have V2. So we have V1, which is not known, and also V2, which is not known. Now, V2 is the resistance of the is the voltage of this external resistance, while V1 is the voltage of the of the galvanometer, that is the internal resistance. Now, let's find V2. V2 is equal to I times R2, and this is equal to 0.005 multiplied by 975, and this is equal to 4.875 voltage V. So from this we can say what? V, which is the total voltage, is equals to V1 plus V2. Now, since we have V, which is 5 voltage, and V2, which is 4.87 voltage, we can find what? V1, and V1 is equals to what? V minus V2, which is equals to 5 minus 4.875, and this is equal to 0.125 voltage. So V1 is equal to 0.125 volts. Now, since we have V1 now to be equal to 0.125 volts, we can now find what? We can now find R1, because R1 is resistance of the galvanometer. From V is equals to I times R1, that's V1 is equals to I times R1, we say R1 is equals to V1 all over I, and this is equals to 0.125 all over 0.005, and this is equals to 25 ohms. So 25 ohms is the resistance of the galvanometer, and that is option C. Thank you and God bless you. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos.